The reason why people are getting very upset about this, though, is coding took an awfully long time to learn. It took years to learn to be a computer programmer, especially seniors have been doing this stuff for decades. And this is why over on my Instagram, I have thousands of comments now where people are very upset about what I'm saying. They go on and on. A lot of these people are coders. And again, as we just covered, should we hate vibe coders, there are good reasons to be upset about this. What we're seeing is the democratization of a technology, putting it into the hands of people who have not spent years building this skill. If you have spent years building this skill, if you've gone and got a computer science degree, if you have learned multiple languages and put in the work, this is upsetting. When photography came out, fine artists who were doing oil painting thought that was trash and that we should ban photography and it shouldn't be allowed. And then we had to shift from film photography to digital cameras. And again, the film photographer is like, oh no, that doesn't count. That's not real photography. We've had it in music, digital audio workstations, digital music production taken over from traditional composing. And we see this in multiple different industries, and there's always going to be resistance from the people who are in control already, the people who have control of the skill, who have spent all of that time. They're going to very naturally be upset and push back when something comes along and makes that accessible, makes it easy. And they're going to say, this doesn't count, this isn't real, this is not real coding, this is not real photography, this is not real art. That is an extremely natural and human reaction. It's hard to justify as we go further. We're seeing this in multiple fields of artificial intelligence. And there's this tweet from Aaron Francis a couple of days ago, or a week ago, where he pointed out that in 2021, AI can't even autocomplete a line of code. It was trash. So at the time, people were like, oh, AI is never going to be able to help us code. It's never going to be able to program. It's a joke. This was 4 or 5 years ago. 2022, okay, it can write a line of code, sure, but it can't write a whole function. It's stupid, it's crap. 2023, it can't even pass a coding interview. Like, it's not at that level. Sure, it can write a function, new lines, but it can't do a coding interview. 2024, it can't even build an app. 2025, it can't handle complex projects. 2026, betting against it and betting that it's not going to get any better than it is right now is not a good bet. It really is not. Remember, it is the worst it will ever be. What we have right now, the Claude code we're using today is the worst it will ever be. This is an Ethan Mollick thing. Remember, today's AI is the worst AI you will ever use. The writing will improve, the amount of words the AI can hold in memory will improve, and the costs will drop. This has been true for the last 2 or 3 years, and it will continue. Betting against AI in any area not getting better is not smart. It's been proved again and again that the capabilities can surpass what we assume they can do. So 2026, we are now falling back in coding with saying, oh, sure, it can put together an application, but it can't architect complex projects. And then we see that it can architect complex projects. And then we'll have, oh, it's not secure. Security is an issue. Cybersecurity will be a problem a year or two down the lines. We'll just keep falling back and falling back. And we're now moving into the argument where people are saying, it still needs a human operator because it doesn't know what to build. It still needs taste. It still needs somebody to work with the client if you are building for someone. It still needs somebody to work out what that product is that we should actually be building in the first place. So what is happening is the skill ceiling is rising up and up and up and up. And that is absolutely what we're seeing in every single industry. If you are a coder, this is a problem. And the sooner you recognize this, the sooner you can start to pivot into something else. This comes to the question that people keep asking me is, should I learn to code? Yes, you should learn to code. It's a really useful skill and it's fascinating. However, you should not learn to code so that you can become a coder as your job. That is looking risky. That would be a bad move right now. You should learn to code so you can understand how these things work, so you can understand how to architect and what it is you can build. But you should apply that skill in a more entrepreneurial way. So I think there is a disaster awaiting people who are staying in the job of programming, especially for junior people. That's going to get wiped out, and then it's going to be very hard to progress to senior. So I think there's a disaster awaiting us there. And this is not just coding, this is in multiple industries. However, if you use your skills in coding, if you use your skills in AI and you start to build for yourself, you start to create your own products and you start to work out how to release them, how to market them, how to get them out into the world, I think there are untold opportunities right now. It's a really exciting time if you Instead of pushing back against this technology, embrace it and use it yourself to build something you own. So I think there's an opportunity and a disaster here. Entrepreneurs, it's fantastic. The tools are democratized. You can go from an idea in your head to a reality extremely quickly, and it gives you just a massive amount of leverage. Previously, whenever I went to entrepreneurship events or anything to do with people starting businesses, the main block was people did not have the technical support. So I'd always meet people and they'd say, I've got $1 billion idea, $1 billion idea, I'm going to make so much money. I just need to raise some money to hire developers, or I need to find a CTO, or learn Python, quickly learn to code. This blockage, the technical implementation of that $1 billion idea, made me laugh as if it's worth $1 billion. Why are you not spending a year learning to code? Why are you not hiring someone? Because $1 billion is an awful lot of money. Instead, now you can go from an idea to an MVP, a basic version, in an hour, probably less, using a tool like Lovable. If you're more technical, use Cursor. If you are happy to learn, you can use Claude Code, the best agent out there right now. If you are entrepreneurial and have an idea, you can no longer hide behind the technical excuse. You can no longer say, oh, I've got this great idea, I just don't know how to build it. You can now build it and quickly realize your idea is probably not worth as much as you think. Building, refining, and taking things to market, that's the hard part, actually getting it to people. If you are a coder in a job, this is probably a disaster. It's going to be a rough few years. I recommend combining your skills with something entrepreneurial and teaming up with entrepreneurs, people who are more into marketing, and creating something yourself, because the job, the 9-to-5 job of coding, of programming, is going to be a very rocky path moving forward.